Hey guys, I haven't been putting out a lot of videos lately, especially vlogs. I've been working really hard on preparing some DVDs I'm going to start shooting soon, getting the writing finished up. I like to write everything out first. But I've been having a lot of ideas and running across things I want to talk about lately, so I'm going to do a few vlogs coming up. So this one it's not so much about the post. In that I saw a post from a guy. It was an ad for, sign up for my self-defense system. It's, the most deadly, et cetera, all the other systems are BS. I will show you this secret thing that anybody can protect themselves at all times. And it's not so much him as what his post and his assumptions reveal that is very common in martial arts, and I think is a very damaging or even dangerous mindset or concepts of what's taught. So I've spoken many times before that most people, when they want to learn self-defense, they go somewhere and they end up learning fighting. And fighting is one aspect of self-defense, but it is not self-defense. So the way I always define it is fighting, the goal of a fight is to win. Boxing, kickboxing, street fight, wrestling, judo, sport BJJ. The goal of self-defense is not to lose, right? Because in a fight or in a self-defense situation, if I lose, I don't have the option often of saying, okay, stop. The ref can't stop the fight. In a fight, a regulated fight, whether it's a wrestling match, again, or something like that, you always have the option to stop the fight and protect yourself, okay? Then sometimes even the ref will protect you. And that is a crucial difference, right? So if we put ourselves into a fight mindset where I've got to take a lot of chances trying to win, there's also a lot of chances that I will lose. Okay, so the sooner if I can avoid the fight, that's best. And the sooner I'm in a fight, if I can escape a fight, that's second best. Third is if I'm in a fight, if I can control the fight and neutralize the fight, that's best, right? Now, one of those ways for the last one, neutralizing the fight, is maybe something like knock a person out or choke a person out. But those should be your last resort, right? And now, what a lot of schools and a lot of these styles will prey upon is your natural instinct to live in that movie in your head of like, somebody says something to your girl and you go and you knock the guy out and you're the hero, or somebody pushes you and you do some spinning kick and knock him out and everybody cheers. Right? And so a lot of people really get into that idea without thinking of the consequences or the reality of it. Right? And so in this post that this amazing badass posted about learning his style, one of the things he said at the very end, he goes, I'm not going to teach you stupid stuff like wrist grab escapes, because if somebody grabs your wrist, just punch them a bunch and they'll let go, trust me. Right? And one, I'm not doing this, but I do have a whole wrist grab escape instructional for standing ground everywhere, right? Because that is that is a situation which happens a lot in self-defense, right? Somebody grabs you, right? And the reason they grab you is so you can't escape, right? Now, most times if people grab you, it's because they think they can win the fight, right? And the easiest thing to grab usually, by the way, is either your hand or some part of your clothing on your body. Okay, and people go, yeah, I've heard this from Jiu-Jitsu people, everybody. Well, just punch the person, right? And one, that may work if we're equal sized, right? Equal strength. But if you're going to tell an 80-pound woman that a 200-pound man grabs her and to just punch him, this has all sorts of problems, right? One, it's not going to be effective, right? It's the chance that guy's going to let go is very low. In fact, most time, if you hit somebody in the face and they start to lean back or lean away, they actually tighten the grip. Okay, they don't let go. They tighten to hold on to something to stop themselves moving away, right? The other thing is you escalated the situation, right? So if somebody grabs your arm really aggressively, maybe you can say, okay, I'm authorized to hit. But a lot of times think about it like a club. A guy's being a little bit rude, he's like, hey, come here. most people are going to find it very hard to just turn around and punch the person, right? You may think you're going to do that, but in the time of it doesn't feel like it's maybe that aggressive a situation that requires this intense escalation. And so people kind of freeze, right? They don't know what to do now, and they don't have an answer because they were taught, let's just punch the person. They don't have a mechanical way to escape, right? And then what happens is maybe the situation keeps progressing and more dangerous. They're brought to somewhere where they're feeling less and less safe, and by the time they realize, okay, maybe now I can use violence, it's too late. So beyond the fact that they feel uncomfortable escalating, if they do escalate, right, what's going to happen? Well, now the other person is going to escalate, right? So if you again have a 100-pound woman and she punches a 200-pound man in the face because he grabbed her, very likely that guy is going to get very aggressive. Now he's going to hit her, he's going to slam her on the ground, something, right? So all you've done is escalate. And our goal in a self-defense situation is never to escalate if we can help it, right? We want to de-escalate. Now, again, most of these styles teach you overwhelm, attack, rip the eyes out, kick the balls, all this stuff. I think that only makes the situation far worse. And again, people attack you because they feel that they're bigger, stronger, all of that. So you're already finding a huge deficit. And then if you elevate the situation, that deficit becomes even greater. Okay? Then, of course, there's the legal problems, right? You get into a situation, maybe you do manage to beat the person up, right? Well, now the police show up and maybe you have a guy on the ground, he's all bashed in, right? And people say, oh, I remember the guy who grabbed her or grabbed him, let's say it's a guy, and he just broke his nose, broke his orbital, all of this. Well, was the response equal to the attack, right? And a lot of times the legal system will take that into account. If you've way over-escalated, you could be looking at a lot of legal trouble. And even if you're found innocent, right? You still have to pay the court costs, potentially. You certainly have to deal with legal costs and time dealing with this problem. Versus, man, you just got away, right? So that's where this problem in teaching people is, right? You prepare people in a way where when the threat is low, they don't have a response, right? Because they're like, well, I can't really escalate the way I want or the way I'm taught to because the situation isn't dangerous enough yet. And so they're frozen. They don't have a response, right? The thing I say about Jiu-Jitsu, certainly the Jiu-Jitsu I teach in the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu system, is it has variability of response. What I mean by that is it has answers for low threat situations all the way up to very high threat situations. Most martial arts where it's just punch the guy in the face if he grabs you is just high threat situations, right? Answers for high threat situations. The other thing, and I tell people about, somebody grabs you, just punch them, they'll let go. Trust me, that philosophy or that mindset or that belief, I saw them watch a hockey fight. You have two guys, they get in a fight on the hockey, they grab each other by the clothes or by the whatever, and they just start beating each other. Right? And you'll notice they'll be blasting each other in the face often 10, 15 times, 20 times, and neither one of them is going to get knocked down. Neither one's not knocked down. And these guys are roughly the same size. Right? So now what if you have, again, a 210-pound guy grabbing a 150-pound guy? You tell that 150-pound person, just punch him a couple times, he'll let go. Right? Well, we've already seen from the hockey fight that that's not likely. And now you've just angered this person who has 70 pounds on you, who is going to play this punch game. And again, you've entered into their world, meaning they grabbed you, which means they're fighting at the distance they want to fight at. And you've decided to fight under their terms, which is always an idiotic thing to do. If anything Jiu-Jitsu will ever teach you is don't fight under the other person's terms. Okay? So if somebody grabs us, and what we train here a lot is the ability to break the hold and then make our decision. So if I break the hold, I'm then free to escape. Again, that's why people grab me, right? If you wanted to punch me, we're like this, I can always run away. The moment you grab me and want to punch me, I can't run away till I deal with this problem. And me just punching you, now it's just going to be us back and forth. So I need to deal with the hold first, break it. Now, by the way, if I did want to strike, I could because I'm not necessarily being contained or constrained, okay? As you get better and it becomes more, again, of a fight system, yes, definitely learn how to fight within the clinch, okay? But part of that is also understanding What I say about when people grab you is, we're either going to break the hold, or we're going to use the hold against them, or we're going to dominate the hold. Okay, so as we get better in the clinch work here at Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Zug, which something we do a lot is clinch work, is learning how to actually dominate the holds. Right? But from a purely self-defense standpoint, I tell people, if somebody grabs you, just break the hold. Don't try to fight within the hold. Certainly this whole, somebody grabs my wrist, I just punch them, it's all solved, and it's a beautiful thing, and people are applauding off on the side. Very unrealistic, and this is one of the things I say often is that bad self-defense training is often worse than self-defense. Bad self-defense training is often worse than no training. Okay, what I mean by that is if you have no training and somebody grabs you, your instinct is just to get away often, right? But if you're taught like, oh, I learned this system, this guy showed me this secret move or this, this trick, somebody grabs me and I'm going to hit him in this nerve cluster, or I'm going to, kick him in the balls. It's a very low percentage chance. You can't drill those sorts of things, and you're just going to escalate the situation. So you're actually going to often make it much worse than if you just tried to get away. So I just want to clarify that. So when you guys if you are interested in self-defense training, understand the difference. Understand what a lot of these, I won't quite say charlatans, but a lot of the philosophy of these sort of macho systems of, I'm going to teach you to be a deadly weapon, our first goal is stay safe, right? Our second goal, strange enough, is stay safe without doing a lot of damage to the other person. And that really, people don't want to hear that, right? Because again, we want that fantasy, right, of beating everybody up. But again, I can't tell you about, I've known guys who've gotten a lot of legal trouble, even though they were in the right defending themselves. One of my friends was a SBI agent, State Bureau of Investigation, and he told me one time something that stuck with me. He said, if you get into a fight with somebody, and you have to have, even if you're in the right, you have to have a lot of luck on your side, because everybody who watched the fight has to be on your side. The police that show up have to be on your side. The judge, and maybe if it goes to a jury, has to be on your side. You have to have good defense lawyers, if it goes that far, right? And he said that's a lot of things you're hoping, will be on your side. Because it doesn't have to do with whether you're right or wrong. It has to do with all these other factors that may perceive things differently. As well as, again, the time and financial costs that will come from that moment of glory, which, again, is not likely, right? Again, if you have a big guy grab you and you're trying to do these moves, it's not likely you're going to win. You're just going to end up making the situation much worse. So I don't often do this. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not a sales guy. But if you are interested, I will link my wrist grab escape instructional here below the video, so you guys can see how to actually mechanically escape these holds that anybody can do, because they're not based on anything more than leverage, which is the essence of any good martial art. So thanks again. I'll be posting some more vlogs coming up soon.